Hey guys, how's it going? It's time for another Chill with Pete. Sorry I didn't put this out yesterday, but it was my anniversary and it was also my wife's birthday, all on the same day. And it was November the 5th. It's a nice date to remember, isn't it? But yes, so I was kind of occupied yesterday, so I couldn't do this yesterday. So apologies for that. If you're new to this show, Chill with Pete is basically, well, it's kind of evolved into me having a cup of coffee and talking about my week. And I literally talk about as long as it takes me to drink my coffee. So, first sip, here we go. Right. Well, I've got a few things to chat about this week, in no particular order. I've been told we're going to be, in for a harsh winter this year, the harshest one in about 100 years. I'll just pull that down a bit so I can lean back a bit. Not quite right. Then I'll cut my head off. Yes, a real harsh winter, and there's a high possibility of blackouts. Now, get this. I've got one of these with another one on the way. Lamp powered by... How cool is that? Free light. You only have to wind it for about a minute. It gives you half an hour at least of good light. It starts getting dim, and that's really good. So chuff with that. Got my candles in. I've got blankets. We're all set in case we have a power cut. And I haven't experienced a power cut in a long time, but I do remember the blackouts of the 70s when I was a small child, and yeah, that wasn't nice. So trying to get prepared for that. What else? Well, this week I've ordered, amongst other things, a copy of White Dwarf along with some Citadel files, which I thought I would try out. We'll start with White Dwarf first. Last time I bought White Dwarf, it was a thicker monthly instalment, so we get it periodically, not very often. But I actually quite like this weekly thin format. It's purely just about the hobby. There's no annoying adverts or anything in between. It's just the hobby, and I got this one particularly for the rules on the new Tyranids, because there's a lot happening with Tyranids at the moment, and I'm very excited because they're my main army of choice. And yeah, it seems like they're getting a bit of a buff, so good for them. The new models look great. There's a couple in here, and there's a couple more. I don't know whether... I'm not sure if Forge World will be doing the other ones, but either way, it's good news, because yes, love my Tyranids. I just think they're amazing, so happy with that. I know it's a thinner magazine now, but it's weekly, and you got the other one for, was it Warhammer Weekly or something? I forget what that one's called, but yeah, this one is Warhammer Visions, it's called, isn't it? That's the other one with lots of pictures. That one's a bit thicker actually, but yeah, I'm quite happy with this. Quite like these. Nice and collectible, easy to keep, especially if you've got the rules for certain models and that in them. And yeah, so all good. They sent me, what they do, I've got a badge. I've got 3 badges now, and a little postcard or whatever you call it, on the Tyranids. The evolution of the end. Number 1, invasion. 2, predation. 3, consumption. 4, assimilation. Ooh. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and I got this in with it as well. Warhammer. I was talking about a Warhammer app for your iPhone, and I don't have an iPhone, but I thought I'd ask, is it any good? Anybody got it? If so, let me know. I'll be quite interested to know. I've got one on my smartphone that's not that, but this is obviously an official one. It looks like it'd be good for getting the news and things. So yeah, so that's good. Right. You remember this? You must remember this. I've shown this enough times. Well, the paint's not in there at the moment. They're in my new rack, which I've assembled and painted. I've also got this, which is the next set, which I can paint the Toxic City Mall, is it? Set with. You can also do the prison set as well. Yeah, Toxic Prison paint set. The paint set expansion for Zombicide, Prison Outbreak, and Toxic City Mall. So really looking forward to starting those, but I won't start them for a while, because once I start that, I'll be getting my teeth into Zombicide in a big way, and I'm so looking forward to that. Coming back to what I ordered from Games Workshop, these files, I thought I'd just check these out. That's what you get in the box, and 2 files, and they're just metal files. And to be honest, if I'm honest, and I'm trying to be brutally honest with you, they're no better than the ones you can get off eBay for a couple of quid from China. Exactly the same, but I wanted them because they're Citadel, and you know, they've got the different colour ends. I suppose that's significant. And I just thought, yeah, I'll get them. Might be quite collectible. All in the toolkit. Nice little file set there. So yeah, nice little box. I just wanted it. Why not? Eh? I've got another project. I'm doing a mini project, as it were. Move that out of the way. Right. I ordered a Canon S Sisters of Battle, and I've got this Reaper Hellhound. I'm going to turn it into something else. I'm going to put these 2 models on one base, and I'm going to do a special model for my wife's upcoming book that she's writing, and they're going to be kind of characters based from the book. And instead of being a Hellhound, this is going to be called a Halo Hound. And if you want to know more about that, Halo Hounds, then when the time comes, you'll need to read the book. Seriously good. So yes, I'm looking forward to doing that. So I'll be combining the metal and plastic into one miniature, and I'm super excited about painting that one up. And yeah, I can't wait. Got lots of stuff on the go. As I said, I received, assembled, and painted my paint rack. So I got a couple already, but I wanted some for the. I've got a couple of paint racks. I've got several little ones, but I've got a couple of big paint racks for my Citadel paint pots, and they kind of go up in like a sort of amphitheatre manner. But I bought one for the army painter paint pots as well. So that's why I got all my Zombicide paints on at the moment. So that's looking good. It's all to help tidy up my modelling studio, and every little thing that saves space or packs things away neatly is all a big help to me right now. So I've also got, and I haven't assembled it yet, as a set of drawers which go underneath the paint rack. So you just pull them out and put your bits and bobs in there. I don't know what I'll keep in there. Maybe commonly used tools like the files and things like that, or glues. I've got drawers and things in there anyway for things like that. And as time goes by, I'm hoping to get more organised. So yeah, going back to the Tyranid thing, yeah, I'm real sort of stoked about the Tyranids, because what attracted me to the Tyranids in the first place was, well, it was the looks of the models. I've got to be honest, they looked so cool. But it's also the kind of background behind them, and then reading the Tyranid Codex, the sheer horror of a hive fleet that portrays. But the only problem was it didn't actually relate gaming wise, because they weren't that horrific. Now I think with these 2 models and the other things about the spores and that coming back, and yeah, I think with the buff they're going to be getting, or have already got, I think they'll be heading more in the direction of the fluff as it is intended to portray them. Because yeah, I mean, to imagine a hive fleet coming along and consuming an entire planet, that's pretty terrifying. But with their stats and how they play at the moment, they're not one of the most powerful armies on the table at the moment. Well, they weren't, They're in the lower end, but that didn't bother me at all. I'm not bothered about that, because it changes the dynamics of how you've got to think about how you play them, and that's what I find interesting. And I like thinking, oh, okay, then not a powerful army, quite a weak army. So how can I deal with this? What can I try out? Will it work? It's kind of like playing a game with someone who is they're really, really good at it, and they just beat you every time. And the challenge then is to try different ways to see if you can do better. And yeah, I like that. So good. But now they've been buffed. Okay, means to change the strategy again. Well, in time, and that's what I find interesting about that. And I'm finding the way I'm thinking about armies has kind of changed, because I mean, I like all the army. I like them all. I like every single army in Warhammer 40k. Initially, if I'm honest, I wasn't that keen on the Imperial Guard or the Sisters of Battle. I thought, not very good. But having watched them in action in campaigns that Mini Wargaming run, and seeing what they can actually do, because I wouldn't bother to go and get the codex and the rules and see how they play. Seeing what they can actually do and how they play, I'm thinking, wow, they're quite cool actually, and actually the models look quite good. So now I'm getting more into that, and now I kind of love them all. I don't have every army, or something of every army yet. I think everybody would like at least one model from each army, wouldn't they? I think. Well, I might be wrong, but I'll take this opportunity to thank one of my viewers called the Lone Ranger, who kind of pointed out or steered me in the direction of rules for skirmish games. And I thought, well, with that in mind, instead of having big armies and playing the same armies over and over and over in bigger games, with these smaller skirmish games, I could get and collect all the armies a few hundred points from each army. Instead of having one big army, have a few hundred points of each army, and then I can chop and change it as I see fit. And that is really cool, and that's got me thinking. I'm thinking, yeah, well, maybe I'll do that now, because that will also give me a variety of models to paint, different paint. I mean, take Necrons. I've never painted a Necron or assembled a Necron, and I'd like to. And Imperial Guard. Just for instance, I would like to do that. And if I do these skirmish games, then I'll be able to do that. So I'm thinking I may gravitate towards that in the future, the smaller games. That's not to say I won't do larger games with like my main armies of choice. So I'm a bit distracted. My dog's trying to get up on the bed here. Hey, Taz. That's not to say I won't do larger games, but the smaller games are going to be great and quicker as well, and easier to film, I think. And a great way of getting to grips with the rules and trying to get them sunk into my head, so that over time, if I can film like mini bat reps, I can get the rules instilled into me, so I can memorise them better. And then when I do come to play the larger games, I won't have to keep looking things up all the time. It will make the filming process that much quicker. Because I get that it's going to take a while to film even a small game. When you're filming, it's going to take a bit longer, with different shots and things. Because I want to make it look as good as I possibly can. Because it's different from just playing a game with someone. When you actually film it, you're filming it for the viewer to enjoy, as opposed to yourself enjoying it. Although hopefully you will get enjoyment out of it as well, or hopefully I will. But I will be filming for the enjoyment of the viewer, not myself. So I've got to bear that in mind as well. And there's all sorts of things to think about. And anyone out there can give me any tips on filming, lighting, environment, I mean, I know I need good lighting, proper light as well. I mean, I'm going to try things out. I think experimentation will be the key. That's another thing. If I do shorter, small games, real small games, and if it's crap, then that doesn't matter. It's just a small game. Who cares? I haven't invested all my time in filming a big long game to find out that the lighting was poor or the sound was rubbish, and that's not very good at all. So yeah, I think that's the way forward, and hopefully I can learn as I go. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's pretty much. I think that's all I've been doing this week. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The way my dog's pacing up and down kind of tells me he's a bit hungry. I might have to go and get him something to eat in a minute. Well, I've nearly done my coffee, so and that's the time it takes to chill with Pete too. And I'm a slow drinker, and I ramble on a lot, I know. Oh, while I'm looking at it, so I've got my glasses on here, and I always say to myself, I better put my glasses on so I can see my viewers. But I think, well, I don't actually see my viewers, do I? All I see is myself on the screen. And I'm thinking, why do I want to see that? Well, I want to see it to make sure I'm not pulling too many funny faces. You know, if I'm like that, doesn't matter. If I've got my glasses on, I can at least see what I'm doing or not doing. Yes. Anyway, I spotted, the Imperial Guard, the box. Oh, the Imperial Guard, the Honoured Imperium. Sorry, I do get my words mixed up. Apologies. Honoured Imperium, which I have obviously put together and painted, and I think it looks really cool. I'm going to be getting another one at some point to do another tutorial, not on the assembly but on stone effect, because I prefer them in stone as opposed to bronze. That's just me. I think it looks better in stone. Not only that, the head, if you look, it's got like cracks in the head, and you don't get, bronze doesn't crack, metal doesn't crack, stone does. And I think when you do it in stone effect, it looks better. I think it looks better all round, and you can, instead of having the tarnish effect, which looks good, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it doesn't look good, but for my own personal preference, I like the aged stone effect, and you can get the moss and grass growing up alongside it and stuff, and I think that looks good. But I should be doing those because I think they're good. It's quite a nice big model to do to show and highlight painting stone effect on. But not only that, I need another one. I need 2 for a project I've got in mind. So yeah, so that's what I'll be doing in the future, just to let you know. And that, guys, is it. I've just finished my coffee. I've got nothing more to say in this video, so until the next time, this has been Pete on Chill with Pete. Happy wargaming.